Hi everyone, welcome to F L Powell Sons Farming Diary. In today's video I'm just going to show you very quickly the calves that we've had this year. Literally 2 minutes ago we've just had our last calf for 2023. Literally 2 minutes ago, it's not even stood up yet. So I've just pushed out the calf we had a few days ago into a separate pen just so they don't sort of get in each other's way. This is a really lovely little pedigree Gloucester heifer calf. And we're always really pleased to have our heifers because we're still building the herd, which means that we still need the heifers to come in to act as replacements in the future. So we just need to come up with a name for this little girl now. We also have some other calves in here. A pedigree Gloucester bull calf and two Angus calves over there as well. The middle calf is an Angus heifer, and she is pretty much an orphan because her mum rejected her about 2 minutes after birth. She just had wanted absolutely nothing to do with her. So we've had to, we did persist for a couple of weeks, but she was actually being quite violent to us, so we just took the cow away in the end and decided to hand rear her. But she sits in with the other cows and actually steals a bit of milk off the other mums, so she's actually doing really well. It doesn't matter how many times I see this, it's still amazing every time. So we built this calving pen when we knew we had a couple more heifers left to calve. So these guys have access to the outside and a little bit of yard space, as well as a creep feeder. And we built these pens here with the gates to allow us to be able to carve things if there's a problem. Normally we'd be carving in that pen because we've got the self-locking yokes. So if anything's wrong, we just give them a bit of cake. They put their head in, they lock themselves in, and it's safe for me to then handle when I'm up here on my own, which is normally the case. But this time round, this cow started calving there, and so I just pushed the cow out into that pen and there was no problems. I thought I'd just take a second to explain how we choose what AI straws we put on our cows. So we run a herd of Hereford suckler cows and pedigree rare breed Gloucester cattle as well. So we focus mainly on the Gloucester cattle. They're my real interest and the cows that I get the most enjoyment from rearing, looking after here at Court Farm. So we choose to put pedigree Gloucester straws on anything that is a second time calver. Now this is because we use AI, and the details such as EBVs, the estimated breeding values, aren't available for those straws, mainly because a lot of the straws were taken in the 70s, 80s, 90s and up to some quite recent, but we still don't have that information we need to make the choices regarding calving ease, maternal traits. So we do pick on things that aren't really considered when you're in a commercial herd. We select bulls on mainly on their relationship to the cow. Now, because there's only 27 herds left in the UK, there aren't a massive gene pool of Gloucester cattle. So that means that we need to be very careful when we're breeding that we don't breed too closely together. We don't want inbreeding to occur. So to do that, we have to have a kinship report, which the Gloucester Cattle Society provide to me, and I can see how each of the bulls that we choose are related to our cows. Now we've got three lines of Gloucester cattle to make up our evening herd. So we have to be very careful how we select the bulls and how they're related to each other. So yeah, cows, second time calving cows have a pedigree Gloucester bull put on them and is selected in that process. Any heifer, any Gloucester heifers we have are selected by calving ease, and we normally put an easy calving Angus on any of our heifers, regarding whether they're Gloucesters or Herefords. So heifers have Aberdeen Angus easy calving straws put on them, and second time calving cows have either pedigree Gloucester straws, if they are a pedigree Gloucester cow, or Hereford easy calving straws from an easy calving bull onto the Hereford cows. So I'm not really sure if any of that made sense. Probably not. But we are keen to keep growing the herd, and to do that we have to find ways of keeping them viable. And often AIing with rare breed semen is not particularly successful. So we give our cows 2 chances of AI with their pedigree straws, and if that doesn't work, then they have to have something on as their 3rd chance, because we can't afford to take a cow round a whole year with it being empty. We have to have it in calf to make it justifiable to keep it, really. So to do that, then we stick a high fertility Angus on them at the very end as their last chance saloon, to get them in calf before going into the winter. So that's sort of how it works. I hope that sort of made sense. I'm not sure if it did or not. And I'm just going to show you around very quickly the calves that we've got this year, and that's it really. Yeah, so the calf you've just seen is our last calf for 2023. We're going into 2024 with a lot more cows in calf. We've just done a PD session, and we're really chuffed with how they've turned out. Most of them are in calf. We've just got a few to get in the next few weeks. So yeah, we'll be going into a block calving, a much tighter block calving in April next year. So it's going to be a busy time for us. So I'll show you around the rest of the calves now. So we're out in the pasture now, and I'll take you down to see the Hereford girls that calved earlier this year. So we've put Aberdeen Angus bulls on these in the form of AI because they're all heifers, and we find that easy calving Angus are pretty good to put on any heifer. We have very little trouble with calving them, and they're very, very quick at getting up and getting sucking. So yeah, I'm always really pleased with that. So here they are now. So you'll notice, I'm not sure if you can quite see there, but they have K-Mars on their back, which are the way that we look out for repeat heats after our sync program. So they all get synchronized, our cows, into AI, which means we have a much tighter calving block, which is easier for me to manage here on my own. So their K-Mars are on there. Now these have all been PD'd back in calf, so they won't have gone off, so they won't have displayed a heat, being that they're in calf, which is fantastic. And these are last year's, oh sorry, not last year's, this year's. This is this year's calves. Really, really pleased with that. You can see that the Angus cross is thrown a little bit of the Hereford through there with the white face. But no, really little stocky animals, which is great from a beef perspective. Just a short video today explaining what we do here at F L Powell Sons to breed our suckler herd. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to move before I get kicked, and we'll see you again soon.